There's an old adage that says that if real estate is your profession, politics is your business.
You know, I joined the real estate industry on December 1st, 1967. On December 2nd, 1967, wrote my first 2 checks. My dad, who was my mentor, instructed me, son, if you're going to be a success in this business, you got to do 2 things. One is join the Board of Realtors, so I joined the Atlanta Board of Realtors and wrote a check for my dues and membership. And then secondly, I wrote a check for $5 to RPAC. That was my first contribution to the Realtors Political Action Committee. My dad told me it would be the best payback of investment I ever made, and he was absolutely correct.
RPAC is my personal insurance policy to be sure that my right to do business is protected on the local, state, and national level.
As a member of the Georgia Association of Realtors, which is a 40,000 member strong organization in the state of Georgia, you have benefits of which you're probably not even aware. Legislation that can either affirmatively impact your business or negatively impact your business happens every day during the General Assembly right here at the state capitol.
So what would happen if there were no RPAC? You would literally have no voice when it comes to state, local, and national issues.
RPAC does some interesting things that a lot of political action committees don't do. First of all, they advocate first and foremost for the property owner. They advocate to see to it that we have an advocate to lower taxes, to ensure that ordinances and zoning regulations are not so over-oppressive that a person can't have the quiet use and enjoyment of their home. And they lobby, too, on issues that are of specific importance to the lending industry, the security industry, and anybody else that affects real estate. Realtors Political Action Committee makes an investment in candidates who have in their life stood for principles and values that are important to realtors, or for candidates who as incumbents have supported realtor positions, or for candidates who are seeking election to public office and believe in the free enterprise system, the private use and wide distribution of the ownership of land.
I know how important it is to support RPAC because I've seen the direct results in local and state elections.
In the late and mid-1970s, after the first Arab oil embargo, when interest rates started skyrocketing, Georgia had an 8% usury ceiling. Interest rates went to 9% and then to 10%. Had it not been for RPAC lobbying to lift the ceiling and allow money to float and be competitively priced rather than arbitrarily affected, there would have been no mortgage loans at all. The end result was, because the ceiling was lifted, rates actually lowered because they became competitive and no longer a government fix or a government ceiling.
You know, RPAC is a lot more than just a donation. It's an investment in your future.
RPAC not only helps me protect my business, but it looks out for my clients by protecting their personal property rights.
And you know, when you're writing that check to make your contribution to RPAC, stop and think. Has the real estate industry provided you and your family with an amazing livelihood? I know it does for most of us. So make that contribution accordingly when you write your check.
You may write a lot of checks in your career for MLS dues, a lot of checks for parties that you go to, a lot of checks to join your board of realtors. But you'll write one check year in and year out that you'll see an annual dividend from. And that's your donation to the Realtors Political Action Committee. I encourage you to join me and make a difference in your community and in your career.
I support RPAC.
I support RPAC.
Yo doy mi apoyo a RPAC.
I support RPAC. Do you?
Do you?
Do you?